Hi, this is my reaction and review to The Great Flood, directed by Kim Byung-woo and starring Kim Da-mi. The Great Flood wastes no time to get started. Within minutes, Kim Da-mi's character Anna and her son notice flooding and rising water levels just outside their apartment. And right away, the mother-son duo are forced out of their home and into a desperate climb to higher ground, where a rescue helicopter is meant to meet them thanks to Anna's involvement in a secret research project. You would think climbing a flight of stairs wouldn't be that difficult, but narrative obstacles are constantly thrown in Anna's way, most of them coming in the form of her son. I'm not a fan of when children are written purely as a prop to create trouble for the main character, but unfortunately that's kind of what we get here. The film does attempt to explain the kid's behavior by the end, but I don't think it really worked for me. About halfway through the film, there are several reveals that really take the story into a completely different direction, and I think your enjoyment of the film will hinge on whether you buy into what the director is doing in the second half, because it reframes much of what came before it, and it's building upon that new context. Unfortunately, this is where the movie fell apart for me. The first half had a constant momentum, a clear sense of urgency, but the second half has almost none of that. This is difficult to discuss without spoilers, but Anna's efforts in the latter portion of the film no longer felt like it carried meaningful stakes. The urgency that drove the first half simply isn't there. And that's ultimately why this movie doesn't land in a I recommend list. The way the story is structured keeps the audience in the dark for most of the runtime. I don't mind mystery if the journey itself is exciting or fun, but like I said, when the stakes were minimized, the movie lost its overall impact. And the second half is especially unclear about what Anna is even trying to achieve. And when she finally does complete her objective, it didn't feel like a great revelation. Instead of tying everything together, my reaction was, how does that even make sense? Kim Da-mi does a respectable job in her role. I felt bad at how often she would have to be submerged in water with all of her clothes and act out intense scenes while being completely drenched. And you have the standard mother-son crying, emotional manipulation scenes at the end, and it gives Kim Da-mi a chance to utilize her acting chops. This is Kim Byung-woo's second movie released this year, the other being Omniscient Reader, The Prophecy. That film had some interesting ideas, but struggled to tie it together into a compelling story. And I think a lot of the same criticisms apply here. There is a solid kernel of an idea, humanity being doomed by natural disasters, and research that could help define how humanity survives. And determining which aspects of the human condition should carry forward is an interesting thought experiment. But if you want to explore that properly, I think you need less distractions, starting as a grounded natural disaster survival film and then pivoting halfway into a pretty deep existential questioning exploration creates such a drastic tonal shift that neither side really feels satisfying. I really wish the director had picked a lane and committed to it. Where the movie does succeed is in its production design. The flooding looks very convincing, and it genuinely feels like real Korean apartments that are being submerged. One small nitpick about the water, I thought the water was way too clean. If floodwaters are coming in from the outside, it shouldn't look like swimming pool water. I felt like I could almost smell the chlorine. In the end, The Great Flood feels like two different movies competing with each other. What starts as an effective disaster survival story slowly unravels once it pivots toward existential ideas, and it doesn't have the space to completely explore. Despite solid visuals and a compelling setup, the lack of clarity and diminishing stakes in the second half left me more bored than moved. I will give this 2.5 out of 5. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.